Hey everybody, welcome back to Speed Shop. I'm getting tripped by the duck again. So today we're going to get on to a project here. We're going to work on the rear brakes of the truck. So let's get into the shop and get started on it. Let's get her pulled in. Got her pulled in, got the shut the door shut. Now let's get it jacked up and get the wheels off of it. And we'll inspect these drums. All right, so in order to get these drums off, we have these holes right here that have thread in them, and they're 10 by 1.5, M12 by 1.5. And you just screw those in there and take your ratchet and pop them off with this. Didn't need both of them, just one of them popped it off. You can pull your rotor right or your drum right off. Look at all that dust in there. So now, if you come in here and look, you'll see why I need to do the shoes. Look how thin that is. Okay, so I got this little gauge kit right here. It came with my drum brake kit for doing these. And you see how the shoes are in the red. Just a little bit more than the minimum. A little bit less than that. So definitely not yellow, definitely not green. So definitely a good time to change them out. And if you notice, this is a little different setup than a lot of drum brakes you see, and I'll show you right here. But, so there's a little different method of replacing these shoes. So we're gonna get into that during this video. All right, so when dealing with rotors or drums, there's always gonna be a measurement of what the max diameter can be. So we're taking a measurement. This one is 296, I believe, 0.42 millimeters. So we're gonna measure this out, the inside area from here to here, from there to there on the inside, and see if we can turn these down, if we have to be replaced. So let's get to that and I'll show you how we're gonna do that. All right, so what we're gonna use to measure the inside diameter of our brake drum here is a set of 12-inch digital calipers. And it should give us a good indication because I can go, and there's a little lip there. So I'm gonna try to get past that. You can see right there's a little groove that I might be able to get past and get that measurement with. So we're gonna try that. So we're definitely below the groove, which is good, and we can't get a reading because I got it stuck on there now. So let's do it, pull it back there, and we are at 295.05. So 295.05. And the minimum can be 296. So we still got very little bit left on there. Let me do the measurement of the math. So 295.06. So we measured that at 295.06, and it can be maximum, or we gotta subtract that, so 296.42. So that's 6, that's 3, and that's only 0.36 of a millimeter. So what that tells me is these need to be replaced. They can't be turned down. So guess I'll be ordering some new ones. So I got them in the shopping cart already on Rock Auto. They're 120 bucks shipped. So I'm gonna go ahead and order them And when they get here, we will continue this video. So I actually did the math wrong. It's 1.36. So let's see if 1.36 millimeter is enough to warrant keeping the drums. All right, so 1.36 millimeters is that little tiny slit right there. If you can see it, it's kind of hard to see. So we can bring it into the darkness a little bit. There we go. So we need that divided by 2 because of it's going to be the diameter of it, of thickness to be good. If you look right here on the lip, there's a ridge right there. And that right there is more than twice that by itself. So the new drums definitely need to come. I got them ordered and they are on their way. I'm not sure when they'll be here, hopefully within a week. And then we'll continue this video. So we got the new drums in for the truck. We got one here and one over here. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and paint the outsides of them before we put them on. That way they won't get rusty looking. Just gonna throw some black paint on them and be done with it. So let's do that real color. I chose aluminum. So I had some aluminum engine paint. Figure what the heck, I'll color them that instead of black so they just don't disappear behind the wheels. Not that it matters because they're pretty dirty, but. So that's what we're gonna do. One other thing I wanna go over is I'm kind of curious about, I measured the diameter, the inside diameter of it, and the max is 296.4, and what they are right now are 250 or 295 even. So that's 1.4 millimeters of clearance. So that just seems like not very much to me, but I guess they're a one and done type of deal for any new parts these days, huh? And I gotta measure the old ones when I pull them off to see what they are, but who knows. So I got one of the other, one of the original, not original, one of the old drums off, and I took a measurement across even the lip, and it's the exact same as this. So it's like 295, and the max is 296. So you only have like 1.4 millimeters of room. So I think these are a one and done type of deal. You can't turn them down. You might be able to figure out a way of doing it, but that's not very much meat, especially since half of it, you basically divide that in half for it. So yeah, I don't think it's possible, but that's why we got new ones. So Dick and I here, after we pulled the rotors off, or the drums off again, and this cap right here was kind of pushed out a little bit this way. I had a little gap there. So I messed with it, and guess what came out? So the wheel cylinders are leaking, so now I gotta replace those too. So I gotta call Rise. I'll pick those up locally. They shouldn't be that too expensive. So yeah, isn't that great? Doing wheel cylinders too. Oh boy. All right, so we're back the next day, and I went and got the wheel cylinders yesterday. And I got one for each side. That's what they had in stock, the brake best parts. And they're 1 year warranty. I remember these things used to be like $3 or $4 to buy. These were $30 a piece. It's crazy. Man, times have changed. But anyways, let's get into putting these on, putting the shoes on, and getting these brakes all put together and truck back on the road. All right, so if you look down in here, you can see right there how the threads for the adjuster are pretty far out. And that's because these are worn down so far. So, but it means it's been self-adjusting. You can see I popped that out by accident when I was doing a stupid little spoof video. But you can check that out in my shorts. But anyways, so we're gonna start taking this apart and get the old shoes off, get the wheel cylinder changed out, and get the new drums on there. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is remove the spring up here that holds the adjuster and everything in place. Real simple. Put that aside because there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is pop our retaining spring out for the shoes. Just a matter of pulling out the hole right there. And there's our adjuster popped off. There's one shoe off. There's our adjuster. And one more spring. And there goes the flood. All right, so that takes care of that one. And the new shoes came with this bracket, this bar for your parking brake and everything. So we got to unclip it from down here so we can remove it, the cable. All right, so the way you get this out of here, you got to push this end of the end of this cable needs to come out and go down to go underneath this little bracket thing. It's kind of a pain in the butt to do, but there. So just gotta get it past that, down underneath that little clip right there to where it can slide out. So the cable needs to come through here and up and lock into this port. You just gotta push it down and out. Look, the reason why you remove those cables straight out of that is because the new ones come with a new lever and a new spring. So you just replace the whole thing. All right, we're gonna get this wheel cylinder off here. And the bolts that hold it in are E-Torx number 8. So that's what an E-Torx looks like. It's an internal Torx bit, basically. So we're gonna get those loosened up first. And then the nut for the line is a 13. Let's get this loosened first. All right, let's get the brake line off now. That came right off pretty easily. Okay, that's loose now, so now I can go ahead and pull the rest of pull the bolts out for the actual wheel cylinder here. See a little E-Torx on there. So if you look at the new one compared to the old one, see there's this little slot right here, this little flat. So this is the one for the right side of the car. I'm not sure what makes it, why it goes, it's much different, but that's the way it goes. So I'm just replacing it the way they are. If you look at the slot in here, there's no slot for a flat, so I don't know why it's like that. But just putting the one in that goes to the side. And I always try to start the brake line in first before I tighten it down. That way, if there's any movement or anything, it allows for that adjustment. So now I get these screws back in. And now that that's tight, I can go ahead and finish tightening the line itself. All right, nice and tight, that ain't going nowhere. So obviously we're gonna be bleeding the brakes later too. So now it's time to get the old shoes or the new shoes back on it, and then get everything put back together. So just real quick, I wanted to give you, oh yeah, and Dixon out here now, a real quick view of what I was talking about for the brake cable. So the parking brake cable goes through this, and it pushes down, and then comes back up here, and it catches onto this little area right here, and it locks into that place right there. So that's what we got to do to get it on there. I'm going to try to get you in here as close as I can to get this this parking brake portion on there. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. If I'll be able to zoom into it so you can see it. And so you basically just slide it on there. Let's get that out like that. And you just push the cable through. Okay, so really easy. What I did is I went over to the other side. I disconnected that cable from the other side. So now it should be somewhat easy to push through. Except this seems to be getting stuck on something there. There we go. So you see, it's got to drop down. So you have to get this down underneath, all the way through like that. Hopefully it's coming out on the video. See a little thing down in there? You got to get up and over into its spot right there like that. All right, now I got to go pull that back through and reattach it on that side. I'll show you where it's at. So over here, just underneath the driver's side door, you have this little contraption. All I do is pull that out and disconnect it from here. So I'm just gonna reattach it. All right, so the key to getting this spring on, you have to put it on first. Like I got this stuffed up in there, but you gotta put it on first. And just kind of move it. Get the spring up and over this little lever here just to temporarily. And we can put the other side on and do the same thing. So you put the spring on first because there's a little groove down underneath there. Let's see if I can get it to show. See that little thing right there? So the spring has to go down inside that and try not to make it pop out. So that's why we're doing it that way. All right, so we gotta get this other side on too. And we do just kind of the same thing, grab a hold of it. Get it up underneath it. There. All right, so the only thing left to do now is get these springs out of the position. And we'll get this one in a little bit further to where it's actually touching the... There we go. So those are all in position now. You just gotta get the spring to go out and get into their little holes. See it right there's one hole, and here's the other hole. All right, so I'm gonna try one of my tricks, holding these things on here by using a ratchet strap. Hold it in place. Always set those springs. Okay, get the one side in. I'm just using leverage from the axle to push it over with a pair of needle nose. There. All right, so as you can see, the spring is in both holes. So now I can release the ratchet strap. Now you get these springs and the adjuster back in. Okay, so for the adjuster, I always adjust it all the way down. And I put anti-seize on the inside on these screws, those threads, so that way they don't gall. And stick this in here. Oh wait, I forgot. Let's put the adjuster lever on first, because this actually clips onto that too. All right, so we got the adjuster on there now. And the last thing is the spring. So this makes it real easy. Just hook it into this hook, the hole right here. There's a little tab right here on the adjuster lever, and it clips onto that. Just give it a little pop to get it into position there, so it's on the threads, or the teeth of the adjuster wheel. And it's all together. We're all done. All right, so the last thing to do on this side is put the drum on. You want to adjust it out to where it's just starting to grab. And I know it's going to be way too loose right now. See, it's not touching at all. So we're going to adjust it out until it's touching. Okay, it's dragging a little bit, just a little bit right now. Maybe a little too much. Yep, just a little too much. I'm going to back it off a little bit. Let's try that. Okay, got a little bit of drag there. Oh yeah, I can feel that perfect drag on there now. All right, so that side is done. Gonna move on to the driver's side. All right, so we got the brakes all bled. My wife came out and helped me finish it up. And all that's left to do is put the wheels back on. Should be good to go. All right, so the wheels are back on. The only thing I got left to do is torque the wheels. And this job is done. All right, that's gonna do it for this video on replacing the drum brakes on the Firebird. Yeah, that's the Firebird. On the 06 Silverado. So if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like down there. Leave me a comment. Let me know what I could do, what I could do better. And I'm cold right now, so I might be slurring my words a little bit. I don't drink, I swear. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, leave a comment and subscribe. Hey, while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. So until next time, I will see y'all later.